getting off to a fast start in this specific game, knowing the way Baltimore wants to play time of possession battle?
Paramount. You have to. Otherwise, they're just going to eat the clock up, run the ball. We know how well they run it, so we have to start fast and give ourselves as many opportunities as we can.
What have you learned from playing Baltimore? You say you learned how to play the teams. What have specifically have you learned about Baltimore?
You got to be aggressive out the gate. You can't let the game come to you because your possessions are going to be so limited. I'm going to have to play damn near perfect. That's how I'm preparing. So it's an exciting opportunity.
This is as intense as we've seen you on a Wednesday in a while. I mean, why is that? Why do you feel like it's been kind of ratcheting up for you, maybe?
It's a big game. It's a big game. We know what our record is. We know the opportunities we have going forward, but it's our first divisional opponent. We're 1-3. We need to get this one, and it's a big game for the Bengals.
What makes the Ravens, the stuff they do before the snap, a unique challenge to go up against?
Yeah, it all looks the same. Their safeties are well coached. You can tell that they're really well coached. They're smart players. They know what you're trying to attack, and they know what quarterbacks are looking at.
Did you watch the game against the Bills on Sunday night?
I did.
Was that just a reminder to you of, when they get up 2 scores, how quickly the game can get out of whack?
Yeah, exactly. You can't get behind these guys because of how they play on offense.
And we asked you against City if that was a measuring stick game. Now that you're a few weeks in playing Baltimore, do you feel like this is closer to a measuring stick game for where y'all are at, where y'all want to go?
I think every week is a measuring stick game. You go out and try to prove yourself every week, no matter who your opponent is. Whenever you play a divisional opponent, that's the intensity level raises a little bit. Those games count more towards the standings. So, big game.
How much can you counter their time of possession and ball control with your running game and how it's been effective so far?
Yeah, it's going to continue to play a big part of who we are as an offense. It's really evolving and fun to be around, fun to watch, fun to play with. It's going to open up so many more things for us as long as we continue to move in the direction that we're headed. But like I said, possessions are going to be limited in this game, whether we run the ball well, whether we don't. So we just have to be ready to go out the gate and take advantage of all the opportunities that we can.
Do you think the usage? Do you think the usage of the type of, it's almost doubled, I guess, the use of 12. Do you think that gives you guys, is that a better fit for the division? Playing in the division, is that a better fit?
It's certainly opened up some plays and some run schemes and some play action schemes that we haven't had in the past. And so we'll find out. I'm not quite sure if I think it fits who we are now. We have the personnel to do it. We have the O-line that feels really good about the run schemes that we have and taking ownership of it. And so that's who we are now.
How similar, how different are they defensively than they've been over the past couple of years?
Yeah, they're running the same stuff. They're gonna mix it up. They're gonna try to confuse the quarterback. They're gonna mix in a pressure here and there. They're gonna send a zero blitz, at an opportune time. So you have to be on your P's and Q's and reading your keys as quarterbacks to understand where to best go with the football.
Obviously, you've been going back to college, a lot of 11, a lot of spread, a lot of shotgun. How has this transition been like for you? Really dealing with this as extensively as you have for the first time.
Yeah, it's we found some easy completions doing it. It opens up the play action game a little bit. Whether it creates explosives or not, it finds easy completions, and we're still gonna, do what we feel like we're really good at, which is, spread it out, get it to our playmakers, or just pick our spots. So teams can't just prepare for that.
You had the plays on the run last week. Is that just something that maybe it takes a week or two to do that, and once you get a couple of those plays, you're kind of good for the rest of the season?
What do you mean? Say that again?
Yeah, the plays on the run. It seems like in previous years you'll have a couple big scrambles, and then you're doing that the rest of the year. Does it maybe you got to do it a couple times, and then you kind of check that box? Yeah,
I think it kind of depends on the spot, depends on the down and distance. You don't have a ton of opportunities to go and do that. And there was one play on Monday night where I felt like I could have done that, and I didn't on third down, and I ended up throwing the ball away. So that was kind of an emphasis for me coming into this game was, pick my spots to to be able to extend and try to create plays and create first downs, but being smart about it, obviously, and not getting us in negative situations. But I think that's something that, you're always growing and learning and figuring out when you can and when you can't do that kind of stuff.
You just heard that despite the record, there's a lot of confidence internally that y'all can go out and beat Baltimore if y'all play as well as you can. Given how y'all have worked the last couple of weeks, what gives you the most confidence that y'all go out and beat them?
Yeah, I mean, we're confident in our group. We're rolling on offense right now, which is, we've still left some points out there, which, when you score 33, 34 back-to-back and you feel like that you've left points on the board, it's a good spot to be as an offense. So, we're going to continue to, chase perfection, trying to score on every drive. And, it's a big opportunity. We thrive in these moments. We're excited about it, in front of our fans that we're going to need on Sunday. I hope they're excited too. So we're putting in the work this week to go out and put our best foot forward.
Joe, they have a Pro Bowl, or at least one at every level, and that defense is a little bit unusual from a schematic standpoint. Does the personnel make it even tougher? Does the defense make the personnel better? Is it a perfect fit?
It's always a combination of both. They obviously have really good players. That's obvious if you ever watch a Baltimore Ravens football game, but the best teams complement their really good players with really good scheme, and I would say that's what they do.
Do you remember your reaction when they signed Derrick Henry or added Derrick Henry? Do you remember what you thought?
Obviously, he's one of the all-time greats. He's going to be able to control the clock. They're going to give it to him a lot. That's his game. That's the Ravens' way to play football. So, like I said, we got to take advantage of all the opportunities that we have, because there's not going to be a ton.
I know you're not on social media much. I don't know if you saw, but there were some headlines about a comment that Baker Mayfield made about the way he's leading the Tampa Bay locker room compared to when Tom Brady was there. And I know you shared that you've gotten closer to Tom Brady. What are some of the things that you've learned most from him in your short time of getting to know him?
Yeah, I would say, I'll keep most of those conversations private, but, whenever I talk to people that have, I wouldn't say this is specific to him, but whenever I talk to people that have been there and done that and lived that kind of life, you always try to just understand how they, kept distractions at a minimum, what they did to, insulate themselves from outside noise and continue to, be themselves and put their work first, because that's always tough in the position that we are.
How much emphasis does there need to be for this team to play better against division opponents this season?
We need to play better against everybody in general. I would say we haven't played our best ball yet. We have to continue to get better throughout the week. We have to get better week to week. They stay the same, then you're getting worse because everybody else is getting better. So we just have to continue to get better no matter what.
With that in mind, Joe, can this be a tone-setting game for this team in the Division North? Or the AFC North, rather?
We're just worried about getting the win. I'm not really worried about what the win says to the outside world, or what it symbolizes. I'm just trying to get the win.
Winning up front is always important at any level of football, but there seems to be a major focus on that, a lot of talk about that coming into these AFC North games. Why is that such a talking point, such a focus in these games?
Because we know the kind of pass rushers and defensive linemen that the teams in the AFC North have. They're the best in the business. Ravens, Steelers, Browns, they all have top-notch pass rushers as well as we do. And so you have to control the line of scrimmage, otherwise those guys are going to wreck the game.
How often do you go back, even years, against the same opponent and watch film, or is it relevant?
Yeah, you usually go back about a year. I don't typically go back further than that because, year to year you change so much. Personnel changes, coaches change, philosophy change. You can always think about plays here and there and take things from that. But I wouldn't say I go back super far.
Why has perfection been so top of mind as you get ready for this week specifically?
That's always been my goal, is to go out and play perfect. And perfect's not always 100% completion percentage or 5 touchdowns. It's putting yourself and your team in the best position each play in and play out, to have the best possible result on that play. Sometimes that's a 0-yard game, sometimes that's a sack. It just kind of depends on the play, and so I'm always chasing that.
Do you feel like the locker room, for the locker room to be successful, needs to also share that same mindset in order to go where you want to go?
I would say that.
You feel like you'll have that at this point?
I sure hope so, yeah.
Do you pick Geno's brain at all? I mean, here's a guy who was in the middle of the defense last year. Is it a chance to spend some time with him this week?
Yeah, I'll definitely ask Geno some questions.
Your last drive against Baltimore last year, not a good ending, but the drive itself to score, what did you like about the things you guys did on that drive that led to you guys taking the lead in the second quarter?
If I remember right, we hit some explosive plays. We ran the ball well. Last year and going into the year before that, we've really run the ball really efficiently against this group. We're going to have to do that again. We have to do a better job of hitting our explosives when the opportunities present themselves, because against this group, they don't give up explosive plays like that. Their corners are really well coached. They're going to keep everything in front. They like to hold their shell, and they'll mix in a single high coverage here and there, but that's not who they are. And so you'll get a couple of those a game, and when you do see that, and when you do get an aggressive defensive call, you really have to take advantage of it.
Why are Zach Moss and Chase Brown such a great fit in this offense?
When you see it on Sundays, Zach continues to hit the right hole, do exactly what his job is, break tackles, be the physical runner, and then Chase will come in and really break you see how fast Chase hits the hole. He just goes in there, no fear, delivers contact, breaks tackles, runs away from people. Those guys are playing at a really high level.
Zach Orr, does he put any tweaks or wrinkles in to the defensive scheme? And if he hasn't yet, do you anticipate maybe that with the division opponent you might see something that you haven't seen yet?
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see something that we haven't seen. That's, just about every week you do. Teams usually have a Jamar plan or some third down wrinkles, pressure wrinkle here and there. So we'll be ready to adapt.
Joe, I saw your dad tweeted about an interaction he had with Pete Rose at some point. Curious if you had any, or if you could speak to kind of the impact he's had on Cincinnati sports landscape.
No, I never met him, but moving to Ohio when I was little, he was a big name around here and somebody that you heard and saw highlights of all the time. He's still the leading hitter in MLB history, I believe. So whenever you have a guy that has a record like that has stood so long, that's always an impressive thing and something to be admired.
Your dad said that Pete told him that you play football like he played baseball. Does that mean anything to you? What does that mean to you?
I don't know what that means to me.
Hustle mindset.
Yeah. Whenever you have a great player in any sport that gives you a compliment like that, it's obviously appreciated. So sad day for Cincinnati sports fans, I would say.